The first thing Alira noticed about Earth was how soft it felt. She had grown up in the citadel sphere of the awakens Dominion, a place made of living crystals where gravity pulsed like a heartbeat and the sky shimmered with 3 suns. Her world was luminous, sharp, and full of constant motion. Earth was quiet. She expected humans to be loud, chaotic beings, barbarians compared to the elegance of awakens nobility. But the first human she met was sitting in a folding chair outside a small wooden house, holding a mug of what he called coffee, while morning fog clung to the grass like a shy animal. This was Aiden Cole, her assigned husband. A political marriage, arranged to prevent a war neither side wanted. He looked up from his mug with soft brown eyes, blinked once, and said, "Hi, you must be Alira." Alira, trained in 14 forms of diplomacy and able to read the micro-expressions of 100 alien species, realized something instantly. Aiden was painfully, disarmingly ordinary. No aura of power. No assertive confidence. No warrior's posture. Just a man. Plain. Average. Maybe even fragile. She assumed she could handle him easily. She assumed incorrectly. But that truth would only reveal itself much later. For now, she simply inclined her head. "I am Alira of House Vatharion. Yes, I am your partner." He smiled awkwardly. "Want some coffee? Or tea? Or something not from Earth? I have no idea how this works." It was so unpolished. So simple. So human. And she had no idea how deeply that simplicity would carve itself into her heart, or the universe. At first, Aiden treated her like a scared guest. He moved quietly around her. Spoke gently. Offered space. Asked permission before touching anything, including her belongings, her devices, and even her ceremonial armor. He didn't push. He didn't pry. He didn't presume. Alira had never experienced such restraint. awakens nobles were trained to dominate every interaction. They filled rooms with their brilliance, demanded attention, and wielded words like blades. Aiden, on the other hand, moved as if trying not to disturb sunlight. Everyone in the Dominion warned her. Humans are dangerous. They adapt too quickly. A cornered human destroys entire battlefields. But this man? This soft-spoken, gentle, slightly awkward creature? He seemed incapable of harm. He cared more about whether she had eaten than about asserting dominance. More about making her comfortable than making himself look strong. He folded laundry. He cooked dinner. He asked about her family. Not once did he treat her as a political obligation. He treated her as a person. It confused her. It disarmed her. And it set the stage for everything that followed. 2 months into their marriage, Alira still hadn't seen him angry, afraid, or even annoyed. His emotions seemed muted, stable, predictable. Until the day the sky opened. It began with a sound low, like distant thunder. Then the entire horizon split apart as a ship larger than mountains emerged from warp. Alira felt her blood freeze. The insignia glowed along its hull. The Zalvarith swarm. Not an empire. Not a civilization. A devouring force. They consumed planets. Harvested species. Left nothing alive. And they had come for Earth. Her communicator crackled violently. "Alira, your location is compromised. You must get to cover now." But Aiden stepped outside with a frown, shielding his eyes from the expanding shadow. What the hell? The ship unleashed a pulse. Gravity tore sideways. Clouds shredded like paper. Humans screamed across city streets as debris lifted from the ground. Alira grabbed his arm. "Aiden, listen to me. They are here for biological resources. They do not negotiate. We must flee." But Aiden wasn't looking at her. He was listening to something she couldn't hear. A low vibration. A hum. His pupils dilated. His breath shortened. His hands trembled, not with fear, but with something else. Something awakening. "Aiden," she whispered. He didn't blink. For the first time since she'd known him, his voice dropped into an emotion she had never heard from him. A growl. "I know them." Alira froze. That's impossible. Humans have never. But he clutched his head, gasping as something burned beneath his skin. No, not burned. Unlocked. Memories? Instinct. Something deeper? Aiden collapsed to one knee, fingers digging into the soil. "Aiden, what is happening?" He rasped through clenched teeth. "They took me." Her heart stopped. "Took you? When? How?" He shook violently, eyes flashing with terror he didn't understand. "When I was 8. I thought it was a nightmare, but it wasn't." The The sky roared again. A massive tendril of the swarm descended like a spear, carving into the earth. Light flooded Aiden's veins. Not metaphorically. Literally. Lines of radiant gold traced beneath his skin like circuits waking for the first time. His voice deepened, layered with echoes. They experimented on me. Changed me. Left me half dormant until they came back. Elira stumbled backward. Not out of fear. Out of realization. She had heard rumors, fringe theories, about humans taken by unknown forces, returned without memories, but with potential. Adaptive potential. Evolutionary acceleration. Biological ignition. She had dismissed it as myth. But it was real. Aiden stood slowly, no longer trembling. His breathing steadied. His eyes glowed with something ancient and furious. The harmless human was gone. Something else stood before her. Something the Zalvarith should have never touched. The first wave of the swarm descended, and Aiden walked toward it. Elira shouted after him, "Aiden, stop. They will kill you." He didn't stop. He didn't even look afraid. He raised his hand toward the incoming tendril. The air around him warped, vibrating as if reality itself was unsure how to shape around him. Then the ground cracked. A shock wave blasted outward, ripping through the tendril and sending fragments of alien material screaming back into the sky. The Zalvarith ship staggered, an impossible thing for a vessel that size. Elira's heart almost stopped. This man, this gentle, soft-spoken, mundane human, he had just punched a hole in a warship by existing. Aiden looked at his hands in stunned horror. "What did they do to me?" Elira whispered, voice trembling. "They unlocked the one thing every species fears in humanity." He turned to her, eyes glowing brighter. "Your limitless potential." The swarm released drones, thousands of them, descending like mechanical locusts. Elira grabbed her plasmacaster and charged forward, firing at the closest cluster. But Aiden was already moving. He didn't run. He blurred. One moment he was beside her, the next he was a streak of golden light weaving through drones, tearing them apart with strikes faster than sound. Not even enhanced AR-Keth soldiers could move like that. A drone fired a blast toward Elira. Aiden appeared in front of her, catching the beam with his bare hand. He caught it, like someone catching a thrown ball. The drone overloaded and exploded. Aiden covered her with his body, shielding her from a blast, then rose, expression dark and focused. "Elira, stay behind me." She should have argued. She should have insisted they fight together. But for the first time in her life, she felt truly safe behind someone else. Not because of dominance. Not because of power. Because Aiden cared. Because everything he did, even now, was to protect. Not conquer. Not control. Protect. That made him more dangerous than any warrior she had ever known. The battle escalated. The swarm deployed Leviathan-class harvesters, massive biomechanical horrors with mouths large enough to swallow buildings. Cities across the globe fell into chaos. Elira watched Aiden leap onto a harvester's spine, his glowing hands sinking into its flesh-like metal. He tore through it with a roar, ripping the beast apart from the inside. He screamed, part agony, part fury, part awakening, as the ship above sent a focused beam toward him. The beam hit, and Aiden absorbed it. Absorbed it. His entire body erupted in golden radiance, brighter than the sun, lighting the sky in a hemisphere of blinding light. The swarm finally hesitated. They had awakened something they did not understand. Something that should have remained dormant. Something human. When the radiance faded, Aiden collapsed. Elira sprinted toward him, catching him before he hit the ground. His voice was hoarse. "I'm sorry. I didn't want you to see me like this." She held him tightly. "Aiden, you saved everyone." "No," he whispered. "Not yet." Above them, the colossal ship's core charged for a planet-killer shot. Elira felt despair choke her. Nothing in their combined arsenals could stop a Zalvarith core beam. Except maybe Aiden. He pushed himself up, trembling. "Elira, I think I can reach it." She shook her head in terror. "You'll die." He gave her the smallest, saddest smile. Humans are full of surprises, remember? Before she could reach for him, he launched upward, no technology, no propulsion, just raw evolution. He rose past the clouds, past the atmosphere, past the last whispers of Earth's blue sky, until he was a golden star hurtling toward the swarm. The ship fired. A beam meant to split worlds in half. Aiden met it head-on, and roared. The beam fractured. He didn't block it. He didn't deflect it. He consumed it, every joule of catastrophic energy breaking against him like waves against an unmovable cliff. He reached the ship's core and touched it. Elira, from miles below, saw the entire vessel erupt in a supernova of shattered metal and burning light. Then silence. Then darkness. Then Aiden falling. She sprinted with everything she had, skimming across debris, sliding across broken ground, and catching him before he hit the earth. His breathing was shallow, his glow fading, but he was alive. Barely. He opened his eyes, soft and human again. Elira, did we win? She pressed her forehead to his. Yes. Because of you. He exhaled shakily. I never wanted to fight. I just wanted a quiet life. With you. She cupped his cheek. And you shall have it. But know this. Her voice shook. You are not harmless. You are the rarest thing in the universe. A human pushed to their limit. He smiled faintly. Is that a good thing? She kissed him gently. It's the most terrifyingly beautiful thing I've ever seen. The swarm fled the system. Earth survived. And the alien princess who once pitted her harmless human husband now stayed awake at night, watching the rise and fall of his breathing, wondering what exactly had the universe unleashed inside him. Whatever it was, she would face it with him, love it with him, protect it with him. Because sometimes, HFY isn't about strength. It's about heart. And Aiden Cole's heart was the most powerful force in the galaxy. For 3 days after the battle, Aiden slept. Not a normal sleep, something deeper. His heartbeat slowed until it was barely detectable. His skin cooled until Elira felt like she was holding starlight trapped inside ice. She stayed beside him the entire time. Earth's governments panicked, believing him comatose. Arketh envoys demanded to take him into custody for study. Scientists wanted blood samples. Elira refused all of them. No one came near him without answering to her. Aiden's awakening was not medical, it was cosmic. Something inside him was rearranging itself after surviving the swarm's core beam. Such an event would have vaporized entire continents, yet he had consumed it like breath. What happened inside him afterward was a mystery no one dared disturb. On the morning of the 4th day, just as dawn bled across the horizon, Aiden's fingers twitched. Elira sat up instantly. Aiden, can you hear me? His eyes opened slowly, not glowing, not burning, just human. He blinked, confused, as if waking from centuries. Elira, did I oversleep? She laughed and cried at the same time. You almost didn't wake at all. He sat up slowly, touching his chest. I feel different. She swallowed. Define different. Aiden flexed his hand. The air around his palm rippled like heat waves. I can feel things I shouldn't. Energy, pressure, radiation. It's like the whole planet is breathing. Elira's blood chilled. You're stabilizing, she whispered. When they experimented on you as a child, they created pathways, evolutionary channels. The battle forced them open. Aiden frowned. Is that bad? Only if someone tries to control you, she said softly. That became a problem much sooner than either of them expected. By noon, Earth's orbit darkened. Not from a hostile force, but from an armada. Hundreds of ships bearing the insignia of dozens of alien empires arrived in the solar system. Some small, some monumental, each representing species older than humanity by millennia. They had all come for the same reason. Aiden, the man who destroyed a Zalvarith world eater. The man who survived a planet killer beam. The man who glowed with starfire and fell back to Earth still breathing. Whispers spread across the galaxy. The human primordial has awakened. A human has breached the evolutionary ceiling. The swarm fled because it saw its doom. Whether these were legends or truth, the galaxy wanted answers. Ranks of ambassadors and military envoys made landfall, demanding audience. Earth panicked, its governments scrambling to maintain order as alien delegations bickered over access. Elira knew what they really wanted. They wanted to test him, measure him, control him, fear him. Aiden looked out the window at the glowing lines of ships hovering above the atmosphere. Are they here because of me? Elira inhaled deeply. Yes. Aiden rubbed his temples. I didn't ask for any of this. I know, and I don't want to be studied or weaponized. I know, she said again, touching his arm. He glanced at her, searching. What do you think I should do? Elira took his hand. You should be human. He stared at her, confused. I what? Humans never wanted thrones. Never wanted power. They build families, homes, safety. Let the galaxy come to you with fear, but meet it with humanity. Aiden looked back at the sky. I don't feel human anymore. Then let me help you stay human, she whispered. Their moment was interrupted by a thunderous boom. A delegation of ships pushed forward through the cluster, massive carriers carved from obsidian, glowing with molten cracks. The emblem on their hull twisted Alira's stomach. The Dominion of Raztech, a warrior empire, conquerors, chronic challengers of Arketh, and utterly without restraint. Their flagship broadcast a single message to all frequencies. We request custody of the enhanced human for military evaluation. Translation: hand him over, or we take him by force. Aiden sighed. Of course. Alira stepped in front of him. No, you are not going anywhere near them. Aiden tried to smile. I'm pretty sure I could handle them. That's not the point. She grabbed his shoulders. You don't understand what they see when they look at you now. They see a weapon, a living supernova in human skin. Aiden looked down. I don't want to be that. Then don't, she said fiercely. Don't let them push you into becoming something you're not. But Raztech wasn't waiting. The flagship launched 3 dropcrafts straight toward their location. Earth's defense systems attempted interception and failed. Missile batteries misfired. Lasers shorted out. Even orbital defense cannons powered down. Aiden squinted. That wasn't an attack. Alira stiffened. Power dampeners, she murmured. They're disabling Earth's defenses to force you into the open. Aiden stepped outside. Alira followed him, weapons drawn. The Raztech dropcraft landed with seismic force. Warriors 10 feet tall emerged, clad in volcanic armor, carrying chain blades and plasma spears. Their commander stepped forward, General Karzal, infamous across the galaxy. His voice rumbled like stone cracking. Human, you will come with us. Aiden crossed his arms. Not happening. Karzal's black eyes narrowed. You misunderstand. This is not a request. Aiden shook his head. No, you misunderstand. He stepped forward, and the air bent around him. Alira felt static electricity dance across her skin. Grass around his feet flattened. Dust swirled in spirals. General Karzal sneered. You think yourself powerful? You are an anomaly. A glitch. Your kind is weak. Aiden vanished, reappeared behind Karzal, and tapped the back of the general's armor with one finger. Just one. Karzal's armor cracked like brittle stone. The Raztech warriors froze. Aiden's voice dropped to a quiet, dangerous calm. I'm not here to fight you. I'm not interested in your war. All I want is my life. And my wife. Karzal turned slowly, face twisting in shock and fury. You dare. Aiden raised his hand lightly. The general stopped speaking mid-word. Not immobilized. Just overwhelmed. Fear. For the first time in his life, General Karzal felt primal fear from a species he considered vermin. Aiden let him go. Leave, he said softly. The commander stumbled back, humiliated, and signaled the retreat. Within seconds, all Raztech forces withdrew. But the damage was done. The galaxy had just witnessed a Raztech general humbled by a human with a touch. Whispers spread. The human primordial commands energy. He moves between moments. He is a threat to every empire. That night, Alira sat beside Aiden on the porch, watching stars blink between the silhouettes of alien ships holding position around Earth. Aiden rested his head in his hands. I don't want to be feared. Alira touched his shoulder. You're feared because you're powerful. But what you choose to do with that power, that will define everything. Aiden looked at her. And what do you think I should choose? Alira inhaled deeply. Choose us. Humanity. Peace. He nodded slowly. I'll try. But before they could speak further, a cold voice crackled over the universal channel. Human Aiden Cole, you have been identified as a galactic-level existential entity. You are hereby summoned by the Council of Infinity. Alira felt her heart lurch. No, Aiden, no one summons the Council. They only intervene in events that threaten cosmic balance. Aiden frowned. How bad are they? Alira whispered. They are the highest authority in the known universe. And if they want you, it means something far worse than the swarm is coming. Aiden exhaled slowly. Great. Just what I needed. The sky tore open above them as a portal larger than Earth's moon unfolded. Not hostile. Not aggressive. Simply infinite. Aiden's eyes glowed faintly as he stared into the cosmic light. Elira grabbed his hand. "No matter what happens, I'm coming with you." Aiden squeezed her fingers gently. "Then let's face the universe together." He stepped into the light, and everything changed. Light swallowed everything. Aiden felt weightless, not floating, not falling, but suspended in a silence that had no temperature, no direction, no sound. Elira squeezed his hand tighter, though he could hardly feel his arms. Colors without names swept past them like rivers of stardust being painted and unpainted at the same time. This was not space. This was between. A vast cosmic corridor where only the universe's oldest powers dared travel. And then, with the softest whisper of reality reassembling, they emerged into a chamber so enormous that entire planets could orbit inside it. Aiden stumbled, breath catching. Elira bowed immediately, trembling. We stand before them." Aiden swallowed. Floating above were beings with forms that defied comprehension. Some looked vaguely humanoid, others resembled geometric clouds, fractal storms, or living nebulae. Their voices overlapped, harmonizing like galaxies colliding. They were not gods. They were older. The Council of Infinity, keepers of cosmic equilibrium. The highest authority in all realities. And every one of them was staring at Aiden. Not with curiosity, with calculation. Aiden felt something crawl up his spine, like their stares were reading past his thoughts, down to the atoms of his existence. One counselor took form, a towering figure of swirling starlight shaped like a man, but whose face held no features. Its voice echoed across dimensions. "Human Aiden Cole, you have awakened." Aiden's jaw clenched. "I didn't ask for any of this." "Awakening is not a request," the being replied. "It is destiny." Elira stepped in front of Aiden, surprising even herself. "This human is no threat to your balance. He saved a world, not destroyed it." The cosmic giant tilted its head. "Saved your world. But in doing so, he shattered the equilibrium of 27 others." Aiden blinked. What? A ripple of light projected images. Worlds bowing to human worship. Empires preparing to eliminate humanity preemptively. Species rewiring their genetics to copy him. Ruling councils collapsing under paranoia. Elira's breath caught. "Oh no!" Aiden rubbed his temples. "I didn't want that. I just wanted to live my life." A smaller figure emerged, an entity shaped like a child, but with eyes like collapsed stars. Intent is irrelevant. Existence is impact. Aiden looked around desperately. "What do you want from me? To give up my power? To leave Earth? To die?" Silence. Then the oldest counselor spoke, a voice like molten time. "We want you to choose." The chamber flashed white. Suddenly, Aiden stood alone in darkness, separated from Elira. He reached out, shouting her name, but his voice vanished, absorbed by shadow. Then visions took shape. His choices. His possible futures. Future 1, the weapon. Aiden saw himself clad in cosmic armor, leading fleets across galaxies, destroying tyrants, liberating worlds, until liberation became conquest. Until fear reshaped him into something monstrous. Aiden staggered backward. "No, not me." Future 2, the martyr. He saw himself sacrificing his life to seal a cosmic rift, saving billions, but leaving Elira sobbing over his fading body. Future 3, the exile. He saw himself drifting across universes, immortal, alone, forgotten. Future 4, the harmless human. He saw himself abandoning his power, returning to Earth, living a simple life, but making humanity vulnerable to the next threat far greater than the swarm. Aiden fell to his knees. There has to be something else. A final future appeared, but this one was blurred, unformed, undecided. Future 5, the balance. Aiden looked up. What is this one? The counselor approached him, the air shimmering around its cosmic presence. A future where your humanity anchors your power, where you remain who you are, yet become what you must. Neither weapon, nor martyr, nor exile, nor coward, but a guardian. Aiden whispered, "How?" The chamber faded, and he stood back beside Elira. The counselors loomed overhead. "Your evolution is incomplete," they said. "You are a paradox, a human whose potential has no ceiling, a variable that can rewrite existence. Therefore, you must choose one of two paths." The starlit giant lowered its massive hand. Two symbols appeared, floating like glowing runes. Path 1, sever the power. He would become fully human again. Normal. Ordinary. No glow. No strength. No cosmic awareness. He would lose everything the swarm awakened in him. But he could live a peaceful life with Alira. Grow old. Die human. Safe. Small. Finite. Path 2. Accept the ascension. He would complete the evolution. Not becoming a god, something more grounded. A universal constant. A guardian tied to humanity's fate. Powerful enough to face what was coming. But immortal. Changed. Never fully human again. Aiden's throat tightened. The counselor's voice dimmed. Choose. Now. Alira stepped close, clutching his hand like a lifeline. Tears welled in her eyes, not of fear but love. Aiden, she whispered. Whatever you choose. I choose it with you. He stared at the two symbols. Sever the power. Live a peaceful life with Alira. Grow old beside her. Or ascend. Defend Earth and every species from future threats. But lose the simple, fragile humanity that made him who he was. Aiden closed his eyes. Then he stepped forward, reached out, and chose. Light exploded outward. The runes shattered. The council chamber trembled. Aiden gasped as power surged or left his body. Alira clung to him as reality warped. Cosmic winds spiraled into their vortex. Aiden screamed, not in pain but transformation. Then, silence. A soft wind. A heartbeat. A breath. Aiden opened his eyes. Alira's breath caught. His eyes. They glowed softly. But not with starfire. Not overwhelming. Just a faint, warm shimmer, like a candle in the dark. Aiden, she whispered. What did you choose? He lifted her hand, kissed it gently. I chose the path where I stay me, he murmured, but strong enough to protect what matters. Alira's eyes widened. The balance. Aiden nodded. I won't be a god. I won't be a weapon. I won't be immortal. I'll age. I'll live. I'll die. But until that day. He looked at his hand. Energy flowed lightly around his fingers, controlled, calm, no longer raging. I'll be strong enough for both of us. Tears slipped down Alira's cheeks. The counselors spoke in unison. The choice is made. The future shifts. Guardianship begins. The cosmic chamber dissolved around them. They returned to Earth at dusk. The sky was clearer than ever. Alien fleets withdrew, respecting the council's decision. Fear faded. Harmony began. Balance held. Aiden sat back on the porch, watching the last stripes of sunlight fade. Alira curled beside him, resting her head on his shoulder. What now? She whispered. Aiden smiled softly. Now, he said, we live. And the threats ahead? She asked. Aiden shrugged gently. We'll face them. Together. And when the galaxy needs me, I'll be there. But until then, I'm just Aiden. Alira laughed quietly. And just Aiden is enough to terrify empires. He held her close. No, he whispered. Just Aiden is enough because I have you. The stars shimmered overhead. The universe calmed. And for the first time since the swarm arrived, Aiden felt at peace, not because his power made him safe, but because his humanity made him whole. He wasn't a weapon, wasn't a god, wasn't a myth. He was a guardian, balanced, human, powerful, loving, finite, enough. The alien princess who once thought her human husband was harmless, now watched him with pride, awe, and unshakable devotion. Because in the end, HFY isn't about conquering the galaxy. It's about choosing who you become when the galaxy watches. And Aiden chose humanity. The story ended not with war, but with balance, with love, with peace, with a human heartbeat echoing against the stars. And the universe listened.